Hi everyone, Yardthany Worktano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of this new YEULE album, Evangelic Girl is a Gun. Here we have the latest LP from what I understand is a London-based music project still, masterminded by singer, songwriter, producer Nat Shamil. Someone whose work under the YEULE name has consistently been mysterious, conceptual, as well as eerily beautiful, exploring themes like despondence and post-humanism on early projects like Serotonin 2, and these are even ideas that extend over to Nat's last full-length LP, Soft Scars, in 2023, despite the fact that YEULE was taking a decidedly less ambient and experimental approach on that project, delivering songs with a much more straightforward approach, a lot more rock influences, noisier production, and while it wasn't a perfect album, it was one that signified that YEULE currently is in a bit of a state of flux, a transitional moment that might provide some new evolution for Nat creatively on the other side. And Evangelic Girl is a record that definitely reminds you how far this project has come, because for the most part, the persona-based theatrics of 2022's Glitch Princess are kind of nowhere to be found, and the ambient influences that were once prominent on YEULE's early stuff have been pretty much jettisoned too on this one. What's clear is that YEULE is not really the music project it once was, so the question is, what are we left with now? What has that older sound and aesthetic been replaced with? Well, while I can't say YEULE has most definitely succeeded in creating a record here that I think has a wider appeal than projects like Serotonin 2, the sounds and songs on this record are nowhere near as abstract or deeply atmospheric and dreamy. But in pursuing maybe a more generally listener-friendly vibe, I think the end result here is an unfocused project with no real specificity to it, and very little in the way of memorable songs too. Plus that very interesting dystopian, ambient, depressive, post-humanist blend of sounds and ideas has kind of been replaced with a lot of nostalgic pastiche. I mean, take for example the opening track Tequila Coma, which yeah, we do get some allusions to pixels and data in the lyrics here and there on this track, but the whole thing still sounds like a very vague spin on 90s trip hop with a profoundly breathy and sleepy vocal performance that makes me feel like I'm moving through molasses. And while there are some sweet high notes hit at a few points on the song, the endlessly moody crooning fails to actually deliver a memorable chorus or any sticky melodies. I mean, really what this song brings overall is just a fleeting, nostalgic vibe. And the rest of this album, for the most part, feels like a bunch of reappropriated aesthetics and ideas from this same era, but without a whole lot of song and melody ideas to really back it up and make it exciting and hit hard. The Girl Who Sold Her Face, for example, is this kind of sad, syrupy acoustic rock and grunge blend with a few heavy guitar passages, but again, it really kind of lacks a standout chorus to bring the song home. Echo changes things up into a kind of glitzy alt dance number with some soaring lead vocals on the chorus that sound pretty decent. And while I can commend this track for having some decent contrast to it, I feel like a cut like this just kind of gets lost in the sea of 90s and 2000s music nostalgia that's out there currently. 1967, though, I think is one of the most interesting songs on the entire LP. It's this twisted acoustic cut with very gnarly and glitchy production. Meanwhile, the lyrics of the track see Nat taking to task the 1960s Singapore National Service Amendment, requiring men to take part in the military, as they describe feeling torn up over their partner having to join the military, have their head shaved, crying. Again, I feel like I'm not against a straightforward approach with the songwriting, with the production in theory on an album like this. I just would have liked more lyrics like this that had more substance and focus behind them. Because going deeper into the album, there are just multiple tracks that really are not up to the task of holding my attention and don't really amount to much more than just like very moody wallpaper with some throwback rock and electronic vibes. Be that the song Psycho or the song Whatever, or even the closing track Skull Crusher, which is like this very slow, forgettable build-up to a very intense and noisy heavy wall of guitar noise that just kind of coasts out into the abyss. It really just kind of feels like a cop-out ending for this already very scant album. Like really the biggest so what you could end your record with. I think the only other track on the LP I really got something out of was the song DUDU, which is another throwback alt-pop number that once again brings some down-tempo and trip-hop vibes with some really cool vocal loops, a blissful explosive chorus with some vocal leads that are worthy of Cranberries comparison too. And again, it's all these types and layers and shades of nostalgia from the 90s and 2000s coming together into a kaleidoscope of sound. And frankly, a pretty sharp song too, as this track does feature, I think, the best chorus on the entire record. But yeah, unfortunately, I think pushing YEULE in this more pop-centric direction, while again, it does give the project maybe a bit more of an edge and an appeal in some respects, at the end of the day, it just kind of feels like a half measure, because there are far catchier and more memorable and more engaging albums out there, even ones that are dabbling once again in 90s and 2000s rock and pop and reliving all of it for a nostalgic appeal. And I think inadvertently YEULE has kind of put themselves in competition with that saturation of artists out there doing that right now, when the original stuff, the more ambient stuff, the more conceptual stuff this project was founded on was much more unique and memorable and alluring and special in the overall music landscape. Now, that's not to say there isn't potential in this direction, but I think it's going to have to take embracing even bolder sounds and ideas and just better, more memorable choruses and song structures if heading in this direction is truly going to work and make YEULE continue to be a standout music project. Which is why right now I'm feeling pretty much a light to decent 5 on this one. Transition. Have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, YEULE forever.